Hello, welcome to another episode of the Book Fix podcast, a podcast that fixes lives one book at a time, one horror book at a time. Thriller? What is this? What does it matter? I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. Hello. Welcome
Hi,
to
guys.
the spooky one.
I know. Well, we've been doing horror books, but I don't know. I have a hard time figuring out if this is supposed to be thriller or horror.
I would consider this a mystery whodunit.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean?
It's not like spooky. It's unsettling at some parts.
You know what's crazy? This is like a weird thing to say. Doesn't it kind of feel like not a lot of people follow mystery books anymore?
Not really.
Because when I was younger, that was a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Agatha Christie was booming.
Maybe we're just not in it, because I know that Karen Slaughter is a really big author.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Cutter's a big author. Oh my God, there's another one that's right here.
It's okay. I'm trying to hold your hand.
Oh
I'm
my
like, where are
God.
you?
Oh, I forgot their name. I'm so sorry. I literally had it right here and now it's gone. But there's another author that I can think of that's really big in that space.
Yeah.
But for me, it's always hard for me to find horror books.
Yeah.
That's supposed to scare me.
Yeah. I don't think I have found one yet that has made me feel
Terrified.
Violently uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I do have some that creep me out, but
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited. I like that we do these 2 months, September and October, of just horror
Mm-hmm.
books and horror stories, because we never really get a chance to read them any other time.
Yeah.
Because our podcast is just fake dating.
Oh my God. The real ones know. In the beginning, we just did a lot of fake dating,
But
romances.
not on purpose. It just worked out like that.
I'm sorry. But I was going to say, if these episodes do really well and, there's a want of horror, thriller,
Mm-hmm.
mysteries, then obviously we'll sprinkle them in a little bit more.
I feel like there's always a want, because even me, I look and seek for horror,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't pick it very loosey goosey, because it's I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah. I feel
So
it. And then I always get nervous, am I gonna predict this? I really hope I don't predict this. I try to turn off my brain.
and I think sometimes bad horror books mistake goriness for horror, and they just try to be oh my God, their insides fell out, and it's okay.
Dude, was that not one of the books we tried to read last year? Oh, did you even get
Which
that
one?
far?
Haunting. Oh, no, I did not get that far, but everyone hyped it up. It's the one with the creepy cover, right?
Yeah.
Everyone hyped it up, and it wasn't good.
It wasn't good, right? Because there was a moment where I think every chapter was a different story or
Yes.
something like that. I don't remember.
It's different characters, basically, because they were in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Well, it was a retreat, a getaway kind of thing, so that they can focus on writing. And slowly we start seeing them lose their minds through their stories, but not done very well. I mean, then again, I didn't finish it, so maybe it gets better. But I do remember one of the stories was one of those really, really gory, and I was this isn't scary. I'm just grossed out. Yeah.
It's gross, yeah. So, I don't know. I'm excited for our 2 months, because we either do a hit or a miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
So today we are going to be talking about The Night Shift by Alex Finlay.
And I did write a summary for this book.
Oh,
this
queen.
is oh my God,
Go ahead.
sorry. This is a spoiler-free-ish summary, but once we get through this summary, we are going to spoil the fuck out of it, okay?
I'm sorry. I just think it's funny that it says also by Alex Finlay, and I was like, The Outsiders? And it's oh no, just The Outsider, just one.
Just single, okay? Single. All right, here's the summary. It's New Year's Eve, 1999, when at a Blockbuster, 4 teenage workers are brutally attacked, but only one makes it out alive. 15 years later, Ella, the survivor, is contacted by her former high school counselor, Mr. Stedman, who seems pretty panicked. He informs her that there's been a similar attack to the one that she survived. This attack was at a local ice cream store, and once again, 3 employees died and only 1 survived. This book is told from 3 different perspectives: Ella, who is forced to relive her trauma, FBI agent Sarah Keller, and attorney Chris, who is the brother of the man everyone believes is responsible for both attacks.
Dang. Dude. You write good ass summaries.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
That's my forte. And then that's it. I got nothing else.
Stop. It's so good.
Thank you.
I want to read the quote that is at the beginning of this book because I love it. It's by our boy Ernie Hemi.
Okay, great.
Ernest Hemingway from A Farewell to Arms. And it's, the world breaks everyone, and afterwards many are strong at the broken places. So it's supposed to kind of signify. No, it's like symbolizing like what this whole story kind of encapsulates.
Yeah.
So why don't we just start off? You kind of already started it for us. Well, first of all. When are we gonna have merch so we can write first of all? Because that's always where we stop.
Or Cheli and I didn't talk about how we both felt about this.
I know. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Book Picks podcast.
It just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Okay, but we don't tell each other how we feel about these books.
Yeah.
But you did say something earlier today where you were like, I don't really remember much about this one. And I feel like you would have been more...
Not what I said, but okay.
No, you were like, a guy, repress that shit. Fuck that shit.
So traumatized. I never want to talk about that shit again.
I don't think you liked it. Okay. I don't think you liked it. And I'm going to say you gave it a 1. That's how much I don't think you liked it. Wow, that's
really strong.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not a 1.
Oh.
Well, now you're making me feel like you don't like it.
What if fighting? I didn't?
We start fighting again.
That'll be on the arm of our merch. We start fighting.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm not sure how you felt about this. Honestly, you gave me no indication.
Thank you.
Of this story, like at all. But you did actually mention that you were getting frustrated. That's the only thing you really said. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm gonna say it's a bad thing. I think you gave it a 2.5.
2.5. Wow. Well, I do want to say
lower than mid, right?
I do want to say that this was just me taking notes because
it's literally in the start.
No, I know it is, and I have to remember, like, okay, who the fuck was talking here? Because something about having 3 perspectives kind of threw me off.
Okay.
It started, I got the flow of it after a while, but when it would switch, I'd be like,
not again. Not
switching gears. Bitch. Oh my God. It's like when you were in high school and you're running the mile and then your fucking gym teacher is like, okay, switch sides. And it's like, I'm already running left. Don't make me run right. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. I was so into one where it was like, okay, now I got to read about fucking Chris. And you know what? I honestly don't fucking care about him right now. And then I would read it and be like, oh, now I gotta read Keller, and I don't even remember what was going on. So. Okay,
let me just start off by saying that. Hold on, let me just remember very quickly.
Hey, don't look at my notes.
I will actually. Now that you said that, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I do want to bring up that I did really like that the prologue takes place with what happened.
Yes, I like that
in
too.
The brutal attack, right?
The first one.
Yeah, the first one that happened in 1999. I really liked that this is like one of the characters that was attacked and died. Didn't make it, yeah. And I feel like it definitely gave more substance to the story, especially because the next chapter, we go straight into Ella's point of view, which is the survivor. And it's been 15 years later now, and she is obviously traumatized still to this day because she is not the greatest character. She is a therapist, but she definitely relies a lot on like drugs, like a Xanax, I think is what she's taking in the beginning. And also she cheats a lot on her husband, which...
Fiance.
Oh, yeah, fiance. And I just kind of like... I kind of liked, though, that she wasn't a good character because it gave more... I guess, validity to how much this really affected her, because she did not give a fuck about her fiance at all.
And the more it goes into her character, because at first I was like, why the fuck are they painting her as so bad? Like, why does she not have redeemable qualities? But then the further you go into the story, you realize it's because she herself doesn't really view herself as like anything worth it.
I think she definitely she definitely had survivor's guilt, because she is the only one out of the the workers that survived. And the reason why she even gets involved in what's happening currently 15 years later is because her former high school counselor calls her.
Stedman.
Yeah, he calls her and he's like, oh my God, you need to come to the hospital. There's someone else who
is a survivor.
Yeah, she went through the exact same thing that you did. So if anyone's going to get through her, it's going to be you. And no one could get through her, the current survivor
through to her,
yeah. So her name is Jessie, and she's very much like, I kind of really like Jessie in the beginning, because as soon as she sees Ella, who had a night where she like went out, cheated on her fiance, she's wearing like this like tiny little dress.
Fuck me heels.
Yeah, exactly. So she shows up in the hospital like this, and Jessie just looks at her and she's like, damn, did you just get off your shift or something? Like, what the fuck? And Ella's kind of like, she has her therapist mode on, and she's like, okay, she's not wrong, but let me like deflect this. And she's able to talk to her a little bit.
And at first, Jessie's very like, you don't understand anything, so why am I going to talk to you? So Ella takes this moment to kind of open up to what happened to her.
A little bit, yeah.
And she gets emotional, doesn't she, talking about this night? Because afterwards, she mentions, for the first time, by the way, because she said she hadn't mentioned it before, that when this person killed everyone, the person who did it like bent down towards her and whispered, "Good night, pretty girl." And that was like all she remembers. And so then Jessica opens up, and she doesn't say much, but she does say like, I was in the bathroom, was not.
Well, she doesn't, I don't think she tells her. Does she tell her? Or because right here she's like confused. She feels like, damn.
Yeah, you were buying ice cream. Did you see who did it? No, he hit me. It was a blur. Did he touch you? No.
Oh no, I was talking about her. Did she tell her this?
Yes.
Oh, she does? Okay.
Yeah, she does, because then at the end of this chapter, Jessie is like, oh, I remember one more thing. He also said, "Good night, pretty girl."
Yeah, so it's obvious that it's the same person, whoever this person is.
Yeah, which at this point of the story, because we do go to Chris next, but at this point of the story, everyone believes the person who did it was Vince. I don't remember his last name. Yeah, Vince Whittaker, which is the older brother of Chris. And Chris is an attorney, right? And he just lives in a very fucked up life. I'm pretty sure one of his first chapters, you see him as like a child. Or no, like younger.
He does have flashbacks where he reminisces on moments that he had with his brother, because they were really close, and they did have a really fucked up upbringing. They only had their dad. Their mom abandoned them, from what he knows, and his father was abusive.
Yeah, but the mom didn't abandon them yet. Well, but she just wasn't present. Oh, well, yeah, abandoned, but just...
he thinks that she abandoned them.
Yeah, but there's one specific memory he has where, like, he went to his room, and that's what his brother would do, so he would, like, protect him, like, he'd go away. And there was, like, this whole, like, drug thing. Like, the brother was accused of selling weed, and he heard him, like, getting hit, and he's like, damn, for selling weed? Like, that's what they're gonna do? And that's kind of where...
Well, because it was also known that his brother would sell.
Yeah, but to make ends meet, not because he was, like,
into that, yeah.
But, Chris is also a very fucked up character. We see him reminiscing about the attack only because this new attack is very similar to the Blockbusters attack. And yeah, that's basically him. And then we have our third character, Sarah Keller,
who is hella pregnant. Oh my.
8 months in.
When they revealed that she was pregnant with twins, I was like, girl, why are you working right
know.
now?
No,
I'm loves her job.
The only day off I'm going to ask for is the day I give birth. And that's only going to be a half shift. Like, I'll come back after.
Yeah, she's definitely a workaholic.
Yeah, she is.
But she's also very determined to solve this case. Like, to solve the first... Not that she doesn't believe that Vince did it, but she just wants to be 100% sure that he is responsible for the first murder and the second one. And through these point of views, we learned that no one has seen Vince Whittaker since years now. So she is trying to locate him also. Like, she's trying to find him.
Yeah. So that is her whole thing. I do want to bring up that she does get a new partner too, whose name is Atticus. And at first she's kind of like hesitant because he's so young. But Atticus proves to be super
full of life, eager.
Young, dumb, yeah. But he proves to be very reliable. So out of all three perspectives, whose perspective did you enjoy reading the most?
Probably Ella's.
Oh, why?
I just felt like there was more that I got from her perspective through like the story. But I did like all of their perspectives. I think it would be hers first, Chris second, and then Keller's third.
That's funny because mine would probably be Keller's first, Sarah second, and Chris third.
Who's Sarah?
Oh, Keller. Keller, Ella, and Sarah. Wait. Wait, who's Sarah?
Who's Sarah?
Her full name is Sarah Keller. Keller.
You just
Keller.
really love
Fuck, I'm messing up the... Wait. Keller, Ella, and Chris. That is the order. I'm sorry.
I felt so bad for Chris, though. I feel like we had so much like revelations through Chris of his brother, and I appreciated that. I really liked those moments. And then I felt so bad for him because he was like obsessed with watching this YouTube channel that was called like Mr. Nirvana, because he was convinced like, oh, this is my brother.
Yeah, because that was something he would say.
Yeah, because he said something like, he described something as Nirvana when they were young, and so now he's like fixated. He's like, this is my brother. I know it's him. I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna prove his innocence, pretty much. Like, that's his whole goal.
Yep.
And so he gets involved because oh, well, that's kind of soon, actually. So let's keep talking about Ella.
Just to mention a little more about Ella. Ella didn't have a good familial...
Oh my god, her mom
like
pissed
thing.
me off.
Phyllis, was that her name?
I think so. So Ella actually grew up rich, but she went to that public school because she lost her brother. She lost her brother, right? Her brother. And so her parents were like, oh my god, maybe we need to change the environment or something like that. And so she was this rich girl with all of these like middle class, poor people, because then people would make comments like, oh my god, you can't go anywhere without your bodyguard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And the thing that strikes me the most too is that when she talks about like the shit she like went through, like the trauma, she always talks about like, oh yeah, my parents dumped me here for like help. So she doesn't really have a good relationship with them. I don't know if I'm gonna...
Also, like, okay, we could just... It doesn't matter what order we go in. Yeah. I also hated that when she did see her mom... Yep. That's what I was gonna say. Her mom was kind of just like... Ella, really? Like, move on. Can you just get over it already? Yep. Like, everybody goes through something. Like, you're not, like, so different. So she's never sympathized with Ella because of what she went through. It doesn't even feel like she's grateful that her daughter's alive. It's just kind of like,
And it's crazy, too, because you would think she would want to, like, be that type of parent that would care. But I think Keller does, like, an investigation where she talks to the parents, and it's just like, I'm not even going to fucking talk to Phyllis because that's nothing. And then she talks to other parents who are like, yeah, my kid was amazing, you know? So it fucking sucks that just Ella had no support ever. Keller, by the way, just to mention, with the whole ice cream murder, the second one, I just want to say that the fact that all the bodies, the people who were killed, were all face down fucked me up. I hate when bodies are doing something they shouldn't. And if I walked in and 3 people were planking, hell no, I'm walking out. I can't imagine, like, I'm just gonna use the bathroom, like, really quick. me enjoying my self-care there, and I see that fucking shit, I go back to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. I fucking hate that. See, I needed to remember who was who.
Oh my God, yeah.
Damn. Can I say these chapters were really short, which is something that usually annoys me. But I don't know if it did this time.
I feel like it helped move the story pretty quickly for me. Like, I think it kind of helped me, like, okay, yeah, on to the next, you know?
True. But one thing that I don't know if it sat right with me was the fact that every single chapter always ended in a cliffhanger. Because I was like, you don't have to do 80 cliffhangers.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, every chapter. How am I supposed to go to sleep, Alex, if every chapter ends in a cliffhanger?
Maybe that's why they did it. Well, anyway.
He's like, don't go to sleep. That's what makes it scarier.
So just to move it along, Keller gets super into this investigation and figures out that Jesse, the survivor of the second death, is being consoled by Ella. And she figures this out by talking to the principal of the school that Jesse goes to. And basically she's like, I want to talk to Ella too. I want to figure it out. But what do you know about Jesse? And it was like, well, she did get kicked out of her school, but I can't tell you why because it's confidential. And it's like, well, you know, this is kind of like a life or death situation. But okay, don't tell me. But she kind of starts to suspect that, oh no, she doesn't suspect it. So then we have a moment where Ella goes to talk to the principal too, because it's weird. Like, I liked Jesse at the beginning, but then when Jesse was in Ella's story the second time, and you just see where she's like, oh, you were the survivor, huh? How did it feel when Vince did this? Can you tell me more about your family life? You cheat on your husband, don't you? And it's like,
so Jesse is trying to be like a journalist.
Yeah.
And that's why she's probing. Like, she's asking so many questions, but she's also a hacker. Like, I don't know, like or a really good stalker. I'm not sure exactly, but she always finds information that people think are buried. So, like, the whole Ella cheating on her fiance, like, how the fuck does she know that? Like, how did she figure that out?
I don't know. I didn't really
She did have an explanation, though. And I remember her telling Ella, like, what it was. But it was like, damn, girl.
I do want to say that two characters mention this. Ella mentions it, and Mr. Stedman, who later tells Ella, mentions this. But when Ella was with Jesse the second time and they were walking around together and they were like running on the train tracks, which is illegal. You're not supposed to do that. She had to keep reminding herself, like, this is not a friend. Like, this is literally my patient.
Well, it's because
my client.
She felt such a connection with her because obviously here was another girl who survived something so traumatic. And Ella, obviously, even though she's a therapist, she didn't actually like heal from that. You know, like she's still reliving this trauma, especially now that it's happening again. So, yeah, like she would look at Jesse and be like, I shouldn't be allowing these things to happen. And
she starts to kind of not second guess, but gets very suspicious of Jesse because when she goes to the principal, Mr. Stedman, and asks him about like what happened at the old school, she ends up getting a name of a teacher who works at the old school. And when she goes to visit that teacher, he's like, she was a journalist at our school and I just loved how she worked. And one day she woke up, or she was in my bed and she was naked, and my wife took a picture of that and sent it to the principal, and I got fired. But he was trying to insinuate that she just did that. You know, it wasn't like anything happened. And Ella was trying to figure out whether or not to believe him. Yeah, but then he does mention that his wife, now ex-wife, did say that she did not send the pictures. And he was like, and I believe her. I believe she did it. So then when Ella goes to talk to Jesse, Jesse's like, no, I went over there because he always used to invite journalists to work at his house, and I assumed there was going to be more people, like everyone would be there. But then I woke up and I was naked, or whatever, like I woke up in a very in position. His bed naked, and then those pictures started circulating, and then like there was a girl that bullied her who she texted like, you'll see what, or you'll get what's coming to you. So that's what made Jesse look suspicious. Yeah, because she didn't even work at the ice cream shop. She just showed up.
And so everyone was kind of looking to her like, why did you just show up? Like, what were you doing there?
And they're probing her at the police, like in the investigation room, interrogation room.
But
I mean,
they paint it as if like, oh, we did it. She's caught. Like it. Like everyone thought that this was it. This was the person who did it.
Yeah. So then when Ella is the one that's probing her, and it's like, you have a connection. Why were you there? Why were you there?
She just says that she doesn't want to reveal too much. She just says that she was upset because one of the girls who was there was the one who was bullying her. And she was really upset. And that's why she was there, to confront her. But she was like, I wouldn't have like done anything, pretty much, you know?
Yeah. Love Atticus.
Oh.
It's funny because the reason I liked Keller's point of view so much is because I love seeing how close she got to Atticus. And I loved when she would like hear him talk sometimes, like, oh, tell me about your name. It's like, oh, it's because my parents really liked How to Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe they named me too soon because Atticus ended up being racist.
I know. Oh, my God. Yeah, I did
So
really
funny.
love Atticus, too. I thought his character was so great.
And he was so good at his job. So I love that he was just like,
and I love seeing that, like, difference, right? Because Keller is obviously seasoned. She's been there for so long, and she's more like hard-shelled, even like comparing her to her husband, who's super loving and doting to her.
Yeah.
And then seeing how she is in comparison to Atticus, who's brand new, doe eyes, just wants to, you know, give his all. Like, I loved that.
Can I also say, I'm glad that no matter what happened in this story, Keller's relationship was never compromised.
Yeah.
I like that wasn't something that was touched. That was just like, oh, she just has a really good husband.
Yeah, he's like great.
Anytime Keller would come up, I would draw a crown because she was queen.
Oh, cute. Okay, so then when Jesse is caught or apprehended, whatever,
Yeah.
Chris takes on her case, actually, because he is so convinced that his brother had nothing to do with the murder. So him getting involved is kind of like him, you know, saving his brother's name, pretty much. How did you feel about Chris's relationship with his wife? Like, how did you feel about that moment when he, like, finally told her, hey, so my real name is actually not whatever fake last name he had. It's actually Whittaker, and my brother is Vince, and so on.
Remind me, she was supportive, right? No, she wasn't.
No, she was pissed.
Okay, I don't remember. Okay, explain it to me again to remind me.
So okay. So I forgot exactly why he tells her, but he reveals to her, hey, this is who I actually am. This is my brother. He, you know, everyone thinks that he's guilty and whatever. I don't know if he immediately tells her that he doesn't think that his brother's guilty, but he just reveals his true identity to her.
Yeah.
And she gets so angry at him. Like, she's just pissed.
Makes me sad because they were a very healthy relationship, right? Before that.
Kind of. I mean, he was kind of absent too.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think he felt kind of left out when it came to like hanging out with her, like her friend group. Because they were like, I don't know, like they were just a little different. So yeah. I do remember that, but I do remember that it really sucked. Like, I hated how she reacted to it because it's like, this is such a vulnerable moment, and your husband is literally telling you like, hey, this thing is so like, it means everything to me. And she just kind of like fucking went off on him for it.
Yeah. She leaves him, right?
Well, they kind of like separate after that.
Okay. So,
and then she gets mad at him because she tells him like, you can't be, she's a lawyer too, I think.
Yeah.
She's like, you can't be involved in this case because it has to do with your brother. And he's like, who's gonna know? And she's like, you're putting me in a really bad position right now because I have to tell someone, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In the original murders, people are trying to piece together like what exactly happened, what caused this person to kill. Yes. So Vince was believed to have been talking to Katie, which was one of the victims. And because of his upbringing, everyone thought like, oh my God, he was such a bad influence on her. They found out, Vince found out that she was pregnant and he went there. They got into a fight, allegedly. This is what the rumors, right? They got into a fight and he was not happy about the baby. And so that's why he killed her. Then at all the witnesses, he killed the witnesses and somehow just left Ella alive. That was what the public thought happened.
Yes.
And also what really sold it was that they found the murder weapon in his locker, which is just kind of stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
They found the murder weapon in his locker, and that's when they took him to jail. But I think that he paid the bail, or like something happened that they released him. And when he was released, he went missing. Nobody could find him. Well, they thought that he had ran away. So he ran away or whatever. And now he's gone. No one knows where he's at. And so that's what they think happened. Nobody knows what happened with Kelly's baby. They thought that she had an abortion. And Vince,
he was mad about it.
Yeah, Vince was just mad. Like, there was like different variations of the story, but either way, like, he was upset about it. So that was the original killings. So they're trying to piece together, like, what does this have to do with the, like, 15 years later murder spree? Jesse is in jail, but I think they release her pretty shortly after, no?
Yeah, they do.
Because of Ella's mom, I think.
I don't remember what happens there.
I remember that they go to Ella's mom's house, and Jessie is about to eat a good ass meal for once in her fucking life. And then Phyllis says some dumb shit, and obviously Ella's upset. And so Jessie's like, you know what? I'm not even hungry anymore.
What? No cheeseburger anymore. Not for me.
Let me just smell it.
I'll just take it to go.
Very convenient, actually.
You didn't work on it. I think I carried to-go boxes. I'm ready for this shit.
My McDonald's bag.
I know.
Oh, but then Jessie sees Chris when she was still apprehended.
Yeah.
She sees Chris and she's like, I know who you are.
The fuck you are.
I know who you are, bitch.
Yeah. And he's like, whoa.
He's like, hello?
Okay, so I don't remember how it happens, but there was a truck that Atticus and Keller ended up. Did they almost crash into it? Is that what had happened?
I don't really remember that part.
But there was a suspicious truck.
I think that because they were looking too deep into this murder, that's why that happened with the truck. Because like someone was following them. No.
Yeah, but this truck ended up being stopped. There was a serious accident. The Atticus had like put a red flare, and the guy who's in the truck looks up and immediately looks scared because it turns out the person who's in it is Rusty Whittaker. And it's like,
is the dad of Vince.
Fucking finally, we've been looking for this bitch. So when they take him in, he is very unkempt. And he basically, they like look through his storage units and realize that in one of his storage units, he has a body in there. And for a while, Keller's like, oh my gosh, that's Vince. He killed Vince. But realizes that this person is wearing a sundress. And it's like,
holy shit.
And also, it's not a fresh body.
Yeah. Can I just say this moment fucked me up? When I got to this moment, I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it doesn't surprise me. He was an asshole. But I really felt for Chris because the whole time he was over here thinking like I was abandoned by both my mom and my brother.
But instead, the mom was killed 15 years ago. And he's just kept the body in a storage unit.
Yeah, that must have smelled so bad.
I know.
What the fuck?
Oh, God. And I feel so bad because it feels like out of all the characters, Chris just kept getting hit.
Yeah.
Like, there was so much. Chris like and Ella.
He could get no wins. None. I feel so
God.
bad for him, too. Like, I really felt for Chris so much. And especially because he had such high hopes that he was so close to his brother. Like, through that YouTuber, Mr. Nirvana. Like, he was convinced, like, this is my brother right here that I'm watching.
And it sucks because even Mr. Nirvana in his YouTube channel would say things that even made me think that it was Vince. Because he was talking about going to visit like a pier. And he said, this is where ships go to die. There are worse places for your final resting place. Trust me on that.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn.
It's like ominous.
It's him. It's Vince.
It's Vince, bitch.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
So, Ella. That's it.
So...
I kind of
when oh god
I want to say, because there's a lot of flashbacks in Ella's thing where she like reminisces with her friends of who worked at the Blockbuster. I didn't really like her friendship with any of them.
I think it was because she was kind of an outsider, no?
Yeah, and she was trying really hard to fit in because they invited her to a party, and she was like, "Yeah, I party like all the time."
Oh my god, I know the way she said it was so awkward. Wait, was it her or was it the other one?
No, it was her, because then a guy drove up and was like, "Are these your work friends?" And she was like, "Why did they say work friends?" Like, it's like it really got to her. So she would try really hard
Just
to fit
socially
in.
awkward.
And I think that's what she admired about them, because she couldn't be that. So the fact that when they died, she became that, and anytime she would sleep with guys, she would use their names.
Oh, I know. When that was revealed, damn. Because she said it early on. Like, she said she would use her friends' names as her fake name when sleeping around with random-ass guys.
Oh, he was in a steel drum in a storage unit near a sewage plant. That's where she was stored.
Okay. The mom of Chris.
Rusty kind of wild for that.
Oh my god, that bitch.
Oh gosh. So yeah, then Jesse, this is the end. Jesse is then confronted that she sent that you'll get what's coming for you. That's when
that threatening text.
And so then Jesse's like, "You can't get rid of me because of the evidence." And Ella's like, "What are you talking about?" And Jesse stares into Ella's eyes deeply. Evidence that Vince Whittaker may be innocent. And another cliffhanger.
Yeah, which this is a big deal because through Chris and Ella, when they finally meet, it's slowly revealed that Ella had something with Vince. But she never says yes, it was Vince who did it, who did those murders, but she still feels like unsettled, and I think she even feels like what's that word? She feels like upset that Chris believes 100% that Vince is innocent. Yeah, because she's like, how dare you say that when that happened to me? You know, like how can you be so sure? Pretty much. And then I think that's when he shows her Mr. Nirvana, right? He's like, look at this. Yep. I think I found him.
I feel so bad for him too, because, and I'm going to say this a little out of order, but near the end of Chris's thing, he does see a Nirvana video and he's like, I know where the fuck that is. So he decides to go because he wants to crash into Vince and talk to him. But okay, Jesse does reveal that Katie McKenzie,
which was one of the victims of the Blockbuster murders,
was pregnant, and she gave up a baby for adoption her sophomore year. And she says, you can check the yearbooks. Anyway, that baby was me. I know, because Katie McKenzie was my birth mother.
So that's why she's so invested in proving who did these murders. Like, that's why she's pretty much trying to be a journalist, and that's Jesse's involvement with these murders, or at least the extent of it.
Yes. So then I know Ella goes back to visit her mom, but I don't remember why. I know Joe covered up for the Mackenzies, Joe Arpeggio.
Oh yeah, because then you start to think that it's actually him who did the murders.
But it's like, no, I literally raised this girl.
So I think we somewhere in this in these chapters, we learned that who Katie was talking to was not Vince, like who she was romantically involved with. It was actually an older man. Yes. It was an older man that she was trying to get away from.
So then, but there's a reason Ella does something and she goes back home to talk to Phyllis. And then Phyllis opens up about, like, and it's been sprinkled in throughout the whole story, but after everything had happened, the families all tried to keep a group chat, like, to stay in touch and kind of like
the families of the victims of the Blockbuster murders.
Yes. They all tried to be there for each other, and it didn't really work out. But one thing that they did have in common is all the dads would always talk about, like, when Vince is out of jail, like, we're gonna fuck this bitch up.
Okay, but when she gets home, people are digging in her garden.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually before this
is the whole Chris going to see
Mr. Nirvana, right?
And when he sees him, it's like, who the fuck is this man?
But I think Ella was with him. And so she sees that, okay, it's not Vince then. And that's when she goes home. She sees people digging in their garden. And she's like, what the fuck, Mom? What's going on? And that's when she sits her down. And then what does she tell her?
And she basically says, like, your dad was really upset when Vince was let go. So him and a bunch of the other dads went to Vince and beat him up. But then it got very brutal. Like, they took out a gun and each of them took a shot at Vince and ended up burying him in the backyard. But it affected in the garden.
Yeah.
It affected the dad so much that he ended up killing himself shortly after. And it like completely like throws everything like for a loop, because it sucks, because Chris walks in like a little later and it's like, why are you here? And it's like, well, you guys are digging up my brother, so like of course I'm gonna be here. And I think it's around these chapters where they both, I'm not sure in whose chapter they say it, but one of them realizes like, we're both very similar, like related to murderers. And it's like, oh, that shit
they
sucks.
definitely have like this connection together. And I feel like because Chris has literally nobody, he has something with Ella, right? Like they attach to each other because of this. Yeah, they do.
And can you remind me? Rusty knew.
Yeah.
Right?
Which that bitch, because he told Keller, he was like, I'll tell you where Vince is at. Like, I'll tell you where Vince is at, but you have to let me go for murdering his wife. Yeah. And Keller was, because obviously they want to solve the murders, right? So she's they're thinking like, oh my God, Vince is somewhere alive and he knows where he's at. But then I forgot what tipped her off, that she was like, no, I know who else would know. And that's when she like goes to somebody else and they start digging in the garden. She finds their bodies and she's just like, that fucking bitch. He knew that his son was dead this whole time.
And didn't say
anything.
God, what a horrible dad. Yeah, a lot of these parents were horrible, actually. So, when Joe was figured out that he didn't do anything, what a king.
You were like, thank God.
Wait, can I show this? These were my notes. Joe's good. What a king. Yay. Good for him.
I'm very excited, huh? That he didn't do it.
I didn't want him to be the one, because I was like, he's just another guy. Oh, but then I was thinking, that whole weed thing that happened, he heard him die.
Yeah, he heard it. So he was aware of the moment that when they took his brother.
Oh my God, that's traumatizing.
That was the last time he saw Vince. Chris. We're talking about Chris.
Yeah. Oh God.
That's so sad. Chris, really, man. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, this is the part I liked. It was in Ella's chapter. They're both the children of murderers. Fuck. But then, so they go to this area. It's a residential neighborhood. The reason they go is because Ella wants to have a last conversation with Mr. Stedman. And Chris drives her. And Chris is like, okay, let's go.
I forgot why, though. There was a reason why she wanted to talk to him, but I can't remember.
It was a closure thing. Like she wanted to talk to him for.
No, she started seeing. Wasn't she like asking them like, wait, what do these girls have in common? And she asked Katie's parents, I think, or one of the victims' parents, like, hey, what was your daughter doing on a certain day? And she was like, she had a driving lesson that time
with Mr. Stedman.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. And so she noticed like something else of another victim that also tied into that. And that's why she went to go see Mr. Stedman, because she was like, what the fuck?
To go ask.
Yeah, just to ask.
Not suspecting anything. But then when she gets there, oh God, I fucking love Chris, because she was like, I'm just going to get off really quick. I'll be right back. And he's like, no, let's go. Like he's all ready. He's like, no.
He's in the car though, right?
No, but he's ready to get off.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, I got this. You can literally go home. And he's like, no.
Hurt though, no?
No. Not at this point. So you can check.
I don't remember exactly, but okay.
Basically, she's like, you can leave. I'm going to go in. And he was like, no, I'll wait for you. Don't worry. So he stays behind. And when she opens it, she sees Mr. Stedman and she hears someone say, run. And she said, oh my gosh, what's going on? And Mr. Stedman says, oh, Ella. And you can see that, she hits him. No, he hits someone else, but he's covered in blood. There's a person with a knife in them. Like, there's like so much shit going on. Mm-hmm. And Ella's just open mouth to scream, but her voice box was paralyzed. Dude.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you expect it?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either. And at this point, I was just confused. I was like, why the fuck would it be the principal? But
then I thought did mention that she was with an older man.
Yeah. And then I also thought about how the principal would always joke like, yeah, in this job for the money, am I right?
Oh my God. Uh-huh.
So I was just like, oh, he's just a bitch.
Yeah.
There's my shocked
turtle.
face. There's my shocked face. So then
and then Keller just busting, fucking guns a-blazing. I was so worried for her. Yeah. Literally, my blood pressure was high because I was like, this girl better make it. Those twins better make it. And then wasn't it so cute when her and her husband would be like, oh my God, they would give the twins names. Yeah. Like Jon Snow and Daenerys. Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly who, but John, make sure Jon and Daenerys is safe. And it's like, why would you do like their siblings as like the couple?
So, but we figure out very quickly that Stedman is the person who Katie was involved with. Mm-hmm. And
she was afraid of him. And also he was abusive.
Yeah. So the whole thing, because we were led to believe that Vince and Katie were the ones who had a baby and it was Jesse. Mm-hmm. But it's revealed that Katie was in a relationship with Stedman and she didn't want to be.
Yeah, she was trying to get away from him.
And the whole her and Vince was just kind of something that Stedman, like, it was like a jealousy thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you have with Vince? Why are you always around him? And it's like, dude, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, they were just friends.
Yeah, so there was nothing between them. But Stedman, when Keller walks in, Ella's like on the floor and she's like, Stedman got Chris and he's hurt really bad. Like, you need to help him. And there's like a huge fight. Atticus gets hit, right? I think he does. And then there's a part where Keller's just holding onto her stomach and she's like, hold on. Like, I need it. My babies, they're not moving. And she like counts and dude.
Yeah, she was panicking because she couldn't feel them move. And so she was just like sitting there like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. And then it sucks because she starts to feel a little bit guilty. Like, oh my God, should I have just stayed home? Like, should I have just stayed home? My poor babies.
And honestly, I think the thing that really drove Stedman, because then afterwards we get a Katie perspective in chapter 70. Mm-hmm. And the thing that really drove Stedman to do what he did was when he was like, don't do this. Don't go to work or else your world's going to turn upside down. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, okay, so what? And she walks over and laces her arm with Candy and Mandy. Mm-hmm. And those are the ones that are killed.
Yeah. Well, so, Katie as well, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's just kind of like, I feel like that was his last thing. Like, that was what kind of drove it. It was like, okay, fine, bitch. Like, I guess I'll kill everyone else.
Wait, now I'm confused.
Why?
Because wasn't it 3 murdered and 1 survivor? Because the guy died. Peter? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Well, I think Candy died. I don't remember Mandy. But okay.
I don't remember if one of them died later.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
I'm
whatever.
Sure.
So Keller's shaking. She's scared. She's checking for her babies. But then she's like, baby's kicking. Okay, it's over for you, bitch.
Oh my God.
Overpowers that fucking man. But it sucks because this chapter...
my God. Cheli's notes are literally everything.
This chapter ends with like, all hope is lost. Like, fucking Keller's over here like, what am I gonna do? Looking around. She passes Atticus, who isn't moving. Chris, who isn't moving. Ella, who isn't moving. And then everything goes dark.
Yeah.
So she's like...
She's probably also not moving now.
Yeah. I was so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I was too. With Atticus, I was like, damn. Well, I was stressed about all of them, but
No.
I think for her, because it's her,
Yeah.
obviously she would feel the most about Atticus not moving.
So then I was so into this story. I was like, oh my God, what's next? And then it said epilogue. I was like, what the fuck? They're in a showdown and this is what you do to me? And the epilogue is Keller. So I was like, okay, did everyone just fucking die? Is that like what happened?
Yeah.
And she's over here with 2 babies. And it's like, look at my babies. Look at my babies.
Look at my babies.
And
Joe
they're
in love.
And so she...
I'm just kidding. I don't remember their names.
Oh, I do. But she starts remembering Jessie Duvall because she's on the Good Morning show. She's talking about a book that she wrote about being related to Stedman and like all these the murders and stuff.
And the truth is finally revealed. And so she got what she wanted. She's a journalist now.
Okay. Another thing that happens is Jessie just starts explaining, like, I just think that Stedman probably thought that he could blame it on Vince, and then second one, blame it on me if like there was a whole connection thing. So he thought that this would work, but he didn't really think it through. Why do you think he killed so many people? Jessie answers, I think he killed my mother because he was obsessed with her, which is true, probably. And probably the same thing happened with the Sawyer sisters. Hannah wanted out of the relationship, which Hannah was the person that Stedman was killing when Ella came to see them. So it was like same thing. He's just an abusive guy who was dating younger people. And all these years he was just a monster in plain sight. The sheep spends its life worried about the wolf only to be eaten by the farmer. And that's something that Keller says, I believe. And Bob is just like, yeah, queen.
Yeah. Slay, queen.
Oh, he's such a good husband.
I know. I loved him.
Anyway, we end with, I thought this was the end. Did you see? I was just like super disappointed because it was like, okay, Bob, let's go ahead and take both of our kids, Michael Atticus Keller and Heather Attica Keller. And I was like, he's dead. I was so sad. Wait, why did they choose Michael and Heather?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's probably in a show or something.
Okay, but Atticus and Attica, fucking love that shit. Made me tear up. This made me cry because I was like, oh my gosh, everyone died. And then I saw this and I was like, what the fuck? So there's a YouTube...
The night shift travel vlog.
Yeah, there's a YouTube excerpt and I'm like, is fucking Nirvana back? What the fuck?
My favorite character.
I know. 10,000 views, kind of doing well for themselves. They're at the Amazon River and they're over here just kind of talking about like the things that they see off camera, whatever. The camera turns black, then on again. And you see both travelers going like, okay, signing off. I'm Chris Ford and I'm Ella Monroe.
Yeah, they're traveling together.
But Eddie still died. Because they got an orphanage, right?
Yeah.
They got an orphanage together. So I was like, are they dating? What's happening? Where's Atticus? Like, I was so...
I think Atticus did die. I think that's why she named... Oh my God, Cheli. Honestly, I was this stressed too when I got to the end. I was like, where the fuck is Atticus?
Dude, oh my God. I don't know what point it was. There's a point where I stopped taking notes. It was around here. Like 70 pages before the end. I just turned, because I was listening to the audiobook. I turned off the audiobook and I was like, okay, bitch, we're getting to the ending tonight. Oh my God.
You were like, you turned off the audio. You were like, I got this.
I've never been so into a whodunit before as much as I was this one. Because I've never really been a big fan of mystery.
Really? I love mystery
I
books.
know you do. Agatha Christie, your girl.
My girl.
But like, I just thought that this book was so like, I'm not going to say well written. It was, but you know, that wasn't what stood out to me. I think what stood out to me was just how everything connected.
Yeah.
So,
for me, I absolutely loved the pacing. And it's so funny because I did notice that every chapter had a cliffhanger, but I was so into it that I was like, next. I was so into this book when I read it.
Did you think you'd like it this much?
No.
Because I'll be honest,
No,
I didn't really like the cover.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the cover was interesting.
I mean,
different.
It's just a fucking blockbuster.
Hello.
I love blockbuster.
Nostalgia.
No,
Bring
but
'em
I was
back.
just kind of because this
Wait,
just
is it
looks
the
like
blockbuster?
yeah, it's the blockbuster. Look, that's scary.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. It's just
Cheli is zooming into the cover and seeing a man just standing there ominously.
I know that's just the person who was getting a movie. Sorry, I like hold it up like. Here it is.
How are they gonna see it?
I'm gonna put it under the table. But
if you can't see it, sucks.
I just was a little disappointed with the cover because it's like this looks like any other shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I did not have high hopes for this story, but I am so glad I was wrong because oh my god, I was so into this shit. And it just makes me so happy that Chris and Ella, although they came from very terrible homes, kind of found comfort in each other.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I kind of like that we don't know whether or not they're together, right?
Yeah, and
like because I feel
glad.
like it doesn't really matter
Because they still have each other.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, they still went through the same thing, you know? So oh my God, this ending, it hit.
Yeah, I had no idea that it was going to be Mr. Stedman. But when it happened, I was like, that fucking bitch. It would be him, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think I had any guesses. For a while, I was like, I fucking hope it's Jessica. I hate this bitch. But then I ended up like, okay, she went through a lot of shit. So
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah.
But overall, this was a really good read.
I fucking loved this book.
I would
so much.
hella recommend this book because we didn't even explain all the plot twists. There was so much shit happening.
Twist after twist.
I know. Oh my gosh. I think though, although I liked it and I would recommend it, I don't think I would read this again. I think it's a good like one and done and I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I think I would give this maybe like a, what did I say you were going to give it?
A 1? I don't know why you thought 1.
I don't know why I thought 1 either. I had a lot of fun talking to you. I would say like a 3.5.
Really? It's so funny because when I finished this book, I was like, this one's it. This one's my top. My top.
Out of what we read?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what order I read them. But yeah, I was like, so far, my top. I really, really love this book a lot. Like, literally,
Wow.
I don't know if I'm kind of, I don't think I really reread things. Like, literally, very rarely. I rarely reread things.
Yeah.
Unless I really like it. But for mysteries, I don't think I reread mysteries. But I really like this one, and I feel like I would definitely recommend it to people who like mysteries and slashers, I guess.
Yeah.
Although it wasn't, like, gory or too gory.
What do you rate it?
Más o menos. I'd give it a 5. I fucking love this book.
Wow. But
Yeah.
is it like a 5 on your ranking for like best book? Or a 5 like it's a good one?
I have to sit with it a little bit longer, but it is pretty. It's a high
Wow.
5. Yeah.
Damn, dude, I'm shocked.
I don't know how many 5s I have.
Me neither. I have to go back and listen to all
same.
of our episodes.
But you know what? I was so excited about this book that I immediately, I sat my boyfriend down and I was like, I'm going to tell you this entire book right here, right now. Stay with me. I have a map.
Really?
Yeah, I told him everything. I was like really into this book.
Okay. Damn, dude.
Yeah. So.
That's so funny.
Wait, what did you rate it? A 3.5?
A 3.5. It was good though. I liked it. It was just a lot. It's just I get very stressed out with different perspective type stories.
No, I usually do too though.
Yeah.
Like if it was more than that, it would have lost me.
I wasn't a fan until the very end where I actually started to care about the characters because it was so many names to remember. So I was like, who the fuck is Hannah? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know, but overall, like it was really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go read it, guys. It's so good.
For everyone who's listening to us in audio form, thank you so much. If you're listening to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts on, if you can please leave a rating of 5 stars and a review, just telling us what you want us to read next or telling us what you think about the book. If you want to help us a little more too, because even though we've been getting a lot of engagement, which is so sweet to see.
And exciting. It's so nice to see that, especially because you and I, we work so hard.
Yeah, we do.
For this.
And I don't know if you feel the same, but sometimes it's not that I forget we have a podcast, but I'm like, okay, I forgot I have to read for this. Like,
Yeah.
So then sometimes I'll look at it and I'm just like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
I have a whole TBR that I have to get through.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to support us a little more with that to get more engagement, if you can get your family, friends, loved ones, your anyone, and just tell them about us, that would be amazing, because the best type of exposure is through word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. And another way to show us that you really love us would be through our Patreon. So at the moment, our Patreon really serves as a way for us to be able to see that people love what we do. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you.
So do you want to read a positive and negative review of this book?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. So before, we used to just roll a dice, and if it was even, we would read a positive. If it was negative, we would read... Wait. Hello?
If it was an even number, we'd read a positive review. And if it was an odd number, we'd read a negative review.
Thank you.
But now it's kind of interesting seeing
the different
both
perspectives, right?
What was this book called again?
The Night Shift.
Okay, I'm going to read this one, but it's one sentence. Okay, this comes from Haley on Goodreads, who gave it a 1 out of 5 stars. And she simply wrote, I hated it so much, I can't even insult it.
Oh my God.
God, I love those types of... I don't agree with you, but I'm going to give you a thumbs up.
Okay, so this review comes from Shawnee. They gave it 5 out of 5, and they wrote, this book was a wild ride from page 1. It follows 2 timelines and 2 crimes that are suspiciously familiar. The author pulled me in with likable characters and an intense plot. I love that I was left guessing the whole time. I had no idea who the killer was. The twist took me completely by surprise. Loved it.
Gosh, love it. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Are we gonna do the next one?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure, because I thought you were looking at me funny, like, are we done?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, we have so much to talk about with this next one. Did I even read it?
You didn't.
No, I did. But I meant, did I take notes on it? Oh, I didn't. Oh, going in dark. Okay.
You mean me every episode?